Wow, BackChat, powered by Paywise, powered by me, and I'm by myself today. I am alone on the couch with my thoughts, a couple of beers. We got Damo, Jaiden, and Smith behind the camera, so I'm not technically alone. But I will be. I think Scully's in Bali getting pissed for Rothy's Bucks. Dan is in Sydney, I reckon, at a wedding. And I am one out in the cage here. It's a different feeling sitting on the couch by yourself. Anyway, we'll see how we go. I think I'm going to be... Damo's going to throw some YouTube comments at me at some point. If not, he's bringing it in right now, so I'll have them. We're just here for 45 minutes or so, have a chat about how I'm going, have a chat about footy. You might be wondering what I am wearing. There is Damo with the YouTube chat, so I'll have... If anyone wants to throw anything at me, I'll be reading. I am wearing an interesting outfit. This is my elephant kit from Thailand. So I've just got back. I was away last week. Monday was an impromptu ep. I wasn't there. Friday's episode, I was FaceTiming in from a pool at the Key Resort in Thailand. If anyone has not been, go. If you've got kids, don't go. If you've got, something on the kid on the way, don't go. If you've got a wife and a young family, probably don't. But it is exceptional. It is an exceptional place for a football trip. It is an exceptional place to have fun. And, oh, boy, it was good. This whole uniform cost me, I think, $3 in the end. I haggled her down from $6. That's an interesting thing. People have been to Bali or Thailand or wherever they go over there. Like, you walk up to a person who sells... Everyone sells this. There's 100 different places that sell the same thing. You go up to someone, how much is this? 400 baht. Give me it for 100. No. 100. No, 300. 100. No. And anyway, you just go. Okay, I'll get it down the road. 200. Nah, see ya. You walk 5 steps out. All right, fine, 100. You feel bad because it's their livelihood. But at the same time, I got this fit kit and I was feeling good about myself. So we stayed on or near Bangla Road, which is just like a... It's essentially the Hangover movie, but in a singular strip. There are massage parlors, strip clubs, all up the street. Like, people are trying to pull you into them. There are bars everywhere. There's people walking the street saying, come and drink here, come and drink here. And it just doesn't stop. We got there on a Thursday, and it was the same as it would have been on New Year's Eve. Like, it was fucking crazy. In our resort, because we stayed 100 meters from there, they had earplugs in everyone's room so that we couldn't, if you wanted to go to bed, you have to go to sleep. So we had those. Highlights of the trip for me were the mango daiquiris were very good. They didn't have shelter over there, which was disappointing. The highlight, number one of the trip, was the last night at the Kangaroo Bar. So there was this... I got my very first tattoo over there. I don't know if we've got a camera on, Jaiden, but it's going to be hard to do. There we go. That says Kangaroo Bar. That's tattooed on my foot forever, as is the way with most tattoos. It's my first ever tattoo, and I decided to get it 2:30 in the morning on day 4 of a footy trip, so that was good. But that place was nuts. We went there. It was a pub of about 100 people. We brought a group of 36 of us in there, and we said to this DJ, and by DJ, I mean like a 50-year-old Thai bloke sitting at a computer playing songs from YouTube, hey, mate, here's $5. Let us run the show tonight. Let us pick all the songs. And he was like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. And we just played, I think we played the East Perth theme song over there, which was pretty weird. We played Horses by Darryl Braithwaite. Katy Perry got a run. It was post-grand final. It was going nuts. And we stayed there until about 3:30. And then that easily highlight. That was my number one thing of the whole trip. Heaps of fun. I went to a Muay Thai place. Scully told me to go to Bangla Boxing Stadium. We watched some Muay Thai. Watched a dude get his head hit with a spinning back elbow, hit the ground, beat the 10 count, and then elbow his bloke in the head to knock him out and win the fight. That was pretty cool. What else? And then, we had this beach club for about 3.5 hours, and it was purely mango daiquiris. And that was right up there with one of the best times. So overall, 4 days I've been away. I was terribly sick on the way home. The trip from 8 o'clock in the morning. So that night I got the tattoo was at 2:30 in the morning. I had to leave the hotel at 8. So I got up at 8, left, in the taxi. It's an hour taxi ride to the airport through these winding streets of Thailand. It stinks like shit. It's stinking hot. Aircon is blasting on my face. I'm staring ahead, trying not to spew. Got to the airport. Thanks, mate. Got out and ran into the toilet. Vomited everywhere. Went and bought myself a water and a Powerade or Gatorade. And I didn't have any cash on me. And I was like, just let me tap card. She's like, it's 70 baht. And I was like, okay, thanks. She goes, minimum 200 spend. And I was like, fuck, can I just charge me 200? I don't care. I don't want anything else. Just charge me. The place, like, there were those ready-made meals there. But over there, their ready-made meals are like crab's feet and octopus tits and rice. And it's fucking gross. I wanted to get out. She's like, nah, I can't charge you that. I said, well, please, 200. Nah. I grabbed 24 mini packs of M&Ms. I was like, we'll have them. 200 baht. Drank the water. Got half a sip, like one sip of Gatorade. And then got to the scanning thing to get through. Oh, you can't bring that in. Oh, sweet. So I just spent 200 baht for nothing. That was fun. That was a bad trip on the way back. But yeah, that's where I've been for the last week. I was a bit worried that we wouldn't be able to waffle on for this podcast, but that was me talking for 6 minutes about a 4-day trip. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I missed a couple of things. Obviously, missed the grand final. That was pretty exciting. What have we got down here? Who's going on here? Tell us about the new tattoo. It just says the Kangaroo Bar. Favorite Thai beer was a Chang. That was really good. Hammer went for a private Diddy party. Okay. Yeah. Yep, you can't catch me. Looking good, Hammer. How do you reckon North will go next year? Best team ever. Don't worry about them. So, yeah, I'll get to keep throwing those things in YouTube. How much did you put back on? How much weight did you put back on in Thailand? I've put on about 4 kilos since going to Thailand, but then spewed and shit a lot of it back up. So that was pretty good. Yeah, so I missed the AFL Grand Final. Well, didn't miss it. I was watching it over there, but it was fun for the first quarter and then, like, good time to be a Brisbane supporter, I guess. Watching it there was fun because we had a tab on, and at that beach club that I was talking about where we drank daiquiris, it was $5,000 for about 4 hours of daiquiris. We were at this Aussie bar and put a tab on, and we were there for 7 hours, and we were just drinking beer and eating, and it was only $2,000, so that went a long way. But yeah, they missed the grand final. That was really good fun. What else have I got here? So yeah, BT confirmed that today. Joey Danaher was going to hang him up. Good way to do that for Joe, I think. Good career. Missed the ball in the grand final. Had all sorts of Joe Danaher about that game. Missed his foot running into an open goal and then kicked a snap and everyone jumped on him to win. So that was cool. Not sure why BT was on the back foot. Here he is. Look at him. He retires. Like, I'm not sure why you're on the back foot post-game directly. Like, if you're putting that out there, just go with it. You knew it was right. You knew he was going to retire. And I would have stuck with it. But yeah, Joey Danaher retires. Great career, Joe. That's all out of the grand final. Since then, it's trade talk time. There has been a lot of movement in the last little bit. And what has really shit me to tears is this compensation pick stuff. I mean, for anyone listening, whoever can, anyone wants to throw some compensation picks in the last 20 years at me, Buddy Franklin Hawks got given pick 18, I think, for Buddy Franklin. One of the best players, the top 3 players in the last 20 years. Pick 18. I read something today that that Richmond might get pick 2 for Jack Graham. What? In what? Jack Graham, I'm sure he's going to be a great player for West Coast. But pick 2, Josh Battle has been, they've got pick 8. Saints, Harry Perryman's just been given for pick 16 or something. It's fucking ridiculous. Buddy Franklin's the best, one of the top 3 I've ever seen, and he was pick 18. These compensation picks need to be sorted out. The AFL haven't known what they're doing all year, but to just throw this shit at the wall and hope it sticks, you're waiting for just a number. Like, West Coast have got a lot of money to pay, so of course they're going to give it to Jack Graham. They're not going to give it to anyone else. They don't have anyone else. So you can't just say, oh, he's better than Buddy. It's got to have some value on the player as well. Like, Josh Battle came 3rd in their BNF and has played 1 good year or 2 good years. He's not pick 8. He's not pick 8. Very good player and a very good man. Still has my board shorts from about 6 years ago, I reckon. So, Josh, if you're listening, I'd like my boardies back. But yeah, so that has been shitting me, but heaps of movement. Geelong have got money out of there nowhere. I think that's like Clayton Oliver and Bailey Smith both want to go there. Clayton's going to be paid out of shit. Like, look at this. Jack Martin going there too. He has moved. He retired on purpose. I think, or got delisted on purpose so that he could go somewhere else. But that is just like, that's so much money going there that they have to physically have it outside of the salary cap. I don't think it can go any other way. The salary cap has been breached, or they've found a really good way around it. ASA money, maybe. There's a few other ways they can do it, but that is just a lot of... Like that right there, Clayton Oliver, Bailey Smith, Jack Martin, that is $2.6 million a year in 3 players of like an $11 million salary cap or something. That's a lot.
So for this trade period, Hammer, what do West Coast need, you reckon?
What do West Coast need this trade period? People that are good. They've got a real lack of that at the moment. Now, they got some good guys. I think Jack Graham will... I think he's definitely going to come. I think Liam Baker will probably come with him. But I'd be throwing the kitchen sink at... I know Chad Warner, and there's a bit of talk about Warner and Bolton maybe going to Freo, but I'd be throwing the sink at maybe one of those guys to get him, because you need an X-Factor player. Elliot Yeo found that X-Factor again, but he's not going to be around for forever. Harley Reid is going to be that, but you need another one, and I think it would be awesome if you can throw the stumps at them. You've got money. The picks are going to be like, you've got picks, first-round picks now. You're going to have future first-round picks for probably the next 2 years. They're going to be somewhat good, and I reckon you can mount a really strong case to just throw the stumps at them and give them heaps of cash. Heaps of cash. If you're going to offer Harley Reid, from all reports, $20 million over 10, you can find a bit of that for Chad. I think you can find a little bit of that for Chad. A ruck. No, who's this? I'm just having a look through here. So I might be... This is going to be... Oh, there you go. Ben Mackay was pick 3 in 2023. 2023, pick 3. Ben Mackay had played, like 60 games before that in 10 years. And Buddy Franklin, who had kicked 100 goals already, was pick 18. So anyway, that's the trade period so far. That's what's been going. West Coast are going to get a couple of good guys in, a couple of soldiers. But really, if I'm West Coast list management, I'm not delisting me for one. I'd still be there. And 2, I'm throwing the stumps at a star. Really having a go at a Chad Warner. Really having a go at a Shea Bolton. And just saying, lads, here's a blank checkbook. Write whatever you want and we'll sign it. And we'll try and get you over here, because that is what, 1, Harley needs to stay, and 2, West Coast fans need to not be angry at the club anymore. So that is what's happening in the world of the trade period. That's what's happening in the world of football. I don't watch a heap of footy anymore. I watch Andrew play. I don't watch Angus play anymore because he can't. I watch the big games when they're on, but like this trade period stuff, I just see glimpses of here and there, and so I'm not massively across all of it. And when we talk footy, Scully is way more across it than I am, and Dan's a nuffy, so I don't want to waffle on for too much more about football. What else have I got? Oh, yeah, I lost a grand final. That was pretty shit. That's it. That sucked. It was great being there. So I remember speaking to Scully about it before, and he said, mate, just everyone says embrace the week and whatever, but prepare to win, and you just fucking win, and that was great advice, and we lost. So thanks. Thanks, Will. But yeah, it was awesome. It was a great experience being out on Optus. There was about 25,000 people there, a bit smaller than I thought there would be, but it was massive anyway. Biggest crowd I've ever played in front of. It was wild. Like the game was intense. The level of, I hadn't played in about 8 weeks, so jumping back straight into footy was different. But the level and the intensity of the game was fucking crazy. Peel were really good. Neil Erasmus is a gun. We spoke about who West Coast need. But this kid's playing waffle and he's a fucking star. Go and have a look at him, ask his manager what he's doing, because he's just wasting away there. He's not going to get a game in front of anyone else. And if they go after Chad Warner, well, he's another step back. So ask the question of young Neil. So yeah, that's been me the last week and a half, last 2 weeks. I've been away. I'm back now. I've got my best and fairest tonight, which I think Mitch Croydon will win. Disappointing that he's going. He's going to leave the Mighty Royals, but he'll hopefully bow out with 2 FD Book medals. So that's what we've done from football. I think we're now going to go away from a little bit of footy, but sort of still stay in there. I think what we've got next, if I'm reading the run sheet correctly, Damo, is...
Before we go,
here we go. Here we're continuing.
We do have a lot of good questions.
Oh, yeah, do we? Yeah, shit, it's hard to read and look. I don't know how Dan does it.
That's all right. We'll read them out.
Hit them at me. Throw them at me.
Okay, so Hayden Dwyer. Can sponsors pay players more money and then the sponsor doesn't pay the club as much for advertising?
Well, the sponsors... you probably could. I don't know if that's a legal thing that can happen, but like I'm assuming that Hayden's talking about Cotton On here because they're already a massive... Bailey Smith's their big ambassador. You would be able to throw them a little bit more cash, I'm sure. The AFL would start investigating heavily if Bailey Smith was only getting $200,000 of a contract, though, and all of a sudden Cotton On are paying him $1 million. That would start to generate a few questions. So I think there'd be ways around getting some extra cash into the system, or the old brown paper bag style, but they would need to find some ways to make it a little bit more justified.
So Nest G, we're bouncing around a little bit, but they just state Eagles need a ruck. Thoughts on that?
Eagles do. I mean, yeah, fair enough. They need a ruck, but like, who are you going to go get? One, I don't think there's many rucks floating around. Matt Flynn has been injured all year, so you haven't really given him much of a chance. Bailey Williams is developing still, and I think he had a pretty good year, all things considered. But yeah, I mean, you need a ruck, but like, you also need 15 game winners, and they just don't grow on trees. So yeah, I think you'll be waiting a while for another ruck, but I reckon give Matt Flynn a bit more of a chance.
Fozjam says, Dan Houston said he just wants to return to Victoria. Now all of a sudden his preference is Carlton. Lol, I'm over players saying they want to come home, but it has to be a specific club.
Yeah, I can't stand that. Like, the go home factor is a joke. No offense, but like, people get homesick and whatever. You get drafted, you sign the contract, it's a national competition, you just go. Kids grow up dreaming to play football. It's their life ambition. It's the best thing in the world. You don't just get drafted and think, oh, shit, I miss my mum and dad so much. I can't wait to go home and have a home-cooked dinner. Like, are you serious? You're going to go home and spend maybe like a day extra. I'll tell you what, I'd love someone to get a tracker on Dan Houston when he does go home and see how much extra time he spends with his family. He won't spend much more. He will see them every second week. It's just not something that you do. Like, you've got a busy schedule. You probably have a family or a life. It's not that you're not having dinner every week with your mum and dad, Dan. You don't want to go home. You just hate Port Adelaide and you want to go somewhere else.
Or it could be like the Ivan Soldo situation.
Ivan Soldo, what a man. He had like 90. He had a game playing for the Sandringham against the Sandy Zebras when he was playing for Richmond's VFL. He had 31 touches, 16 hit-outs, 3 goals, and like, I think he might have had like 14 intercept marks or something. He had the best game of all time, an 81 hit-out. At 31 touches, 81 hit-outs. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's not bad. Greatest guy says R.I.P. Joe Danaher. I'm so sad he's gone.
The greatest guy.
Greatest guy.
What else are we looking at?
Danny O'Shea, I know for a fact that Geelong pay players outside the salary cap. Reece Stanley got cows given to him for his farm.
Well, there you go.
Boom.
Didn't Roger Federer get a cow for winning Wimbledon one year? I think that happened.
Sounds very Swiss.
I think he definitely got a cow for winning Wimbledon. But yeah, I'm sure they pay other players outside the salary cap. I never did, which hurt.
Got a little super chat. Daniel Gleeson.
Oh, Dan, Glees.
$2.99.
$2.99, cheers.
That's an hour of parking. Big fan of the pod. He always entertains at work.
Thanks, Daniel.
Cat Mac on the Dan Houston chat. Apparently it's for his GF, which is also the Ivan Soldo move too.
Yeah, the Ivan Soldo was the GF. So Dan Houston's coming home because his girlfriend wants to have more home-cooked dinners.
He's only human.
Well, what I find about that is, and the annoying thing is like... I'm going to sound like a piece of shit here. When you, like, if you have a partner, if you're an AFL player and you have a partner, it's like a lot of that is you can't be successful as an AFL footballer, I don't think, without a really good foundation as a partner. And the best partners buy in wholeheartedly to what you're doing and where you're going. Yes, they have their own life and they have a job and they do whatever they want. But, like, for a player like that, I'm imagining listening to that, she might be from Melbourne. I'd love to know how much she bought into Adelaide, how much she tried to be... find new friends there as opposed to just always talking to her mates back home. That sort of thing you need to have. And I don't know Dan Houston from a bar of soap, nor do I know his partner. But that sort of thing, when it's like, oh, my partner wanted to go home, my girlfriend, my boyfriend, my husband, my dad, whatever, wanted to go back home. How much did you buy into where you were at? Because as a player, you need to have a rock-solid foundation, and it takes a bit of buy-in. So I'm not sure what's happening in the Houston house.
Greatest guy also
He's
coming
back.
in with... He's back, the great man. Tim Kelly to Freo.
I heard that today, actually. That was a bit weird. They sold the farm to get him, and it's ruined their draft hand up until last year, and now he wants to jump ship. I don't think that's the case. I think Tim likes it at West Coast. I just think there's a bit of, like, when your bad rumours have got to fly to try and get your picks, and he's one of a few that are worth something. So if you can get some picks for him at the back end of his career, maybe. But I don't think he wants to go anywhere. I don't give that one too much airtime.
Yeah, that would be cutting too deep, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Frederick A.D. Hitama, no idea what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Will Brodie? Will be staying at Fremantle this trade period despite having no senior games.
Yeah, tough one for Will because he's in the Neil Erasmus boat. He's a gun, but he's just got, he's got Andrew, he's got Caleb, he's got Hayden Young. Fife Stokes, he's been there all year, and they obviously prefer Matt Johnson over them. So you're sort of there as an emergency if something goes wrong, and it's an easy way to make a paycheck because you're still getting paid to do it, and you're not playing, or you're playing for Waffle. But if you want to extend you're not going to extend your AFL career doing that. You can extend it going elsewhere. Will's already done that. He left Gold Coast, came over here. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see if those two look to go elsewhere.
This is going off your Instagram story, Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
What happened with your parking?
Yes. Well, I've got it here. This is the note someone left on my windscreen. I parked, and I showed Damon and Jaiden this photo before. I parked pretty close to the left side of the wall today. I parked in the Wilson car park near work, knew I had to be here, knew I had to be on and off. So I pulled in pretty close to the left side of the wall. And by pretty close, I mean like I am a 6-inch foot-long sub at most away from that wall. Like, I am tight.
Bee's dick.
A bee's dick, a massive, massive bee. That's a big bee, 6 inches. Anyway, got this note. Nice parking, spastic. How about moving over to your left a bit so other cunts can get in? Dick snap. With a frowny face. So that left me with a few questions. Question one, how much more left do you want me to move? I've got some photos of this. We might put it up on the socials later on, but I was pretty close to the left edge. Don't know how much more I could have moved. That was my first question I had. The second question I had, Dick Snap as the sign-off. What is that about? Is your name Richard? Richard Snap? Do you want... is that like a slur that I'm not getting? Or do you want a picture of my willy? That's the questions I'm asking myself. So that was a weird one to get. I wrote back to him. I wrote how to suck a dick sound cunt, but
Poetic.
Very poetic. I was going to put that on the windscreen next to me, but I didn't know if that was the same car or not. They might have parked it because I was there all day. They might have moved early and then left, and that would have been a pretty tough pill to swallow for just a random person getting back in their car after a hard day's work, and I've just left them that note, having nothing to do with writing the note to me. So I thought better of myself and left it. But yeah, Dick Snap is that was a pretty funny note to get. So that's up on my Instagram story if you want to have a look, and so is the photo of how close my car was.
Just nice Friday stuff, hey?
Yeah, just a great way to get Friday going.
Start the weekend. T. Lorna, Trade Radio saying Andy house hunting in Vic. Can you confirm or deny?
I can deny that. To the hills. Andy's got a home here, loves it, had discussions with Fremantle. So he's still in contract to the end of next year. He had a meeting with Freo the other day, I believe, discussing his football journey, which will, I very much imagine, extend at Fremantle. So he is, I don't think he cares too much for moving back to Melbourne. So I wouldn't be too worried if I'm Freo fans.
Take that, Tom Morris.
Take that to the bank, Tom.
Nicola, can you elaborate on Jake Waterman asking if you could play golf during the COVID hub in Gold Coast? Also, how's the handicap going?
Ooh, yeah. So we lived on a golf course essentially when we were in the hub, and we had 9 holes that was just given to us for the resort. So we stayed at the Royal Pines, RAC Royal Pines, and it had 27 holes of golf. It had 36 holes of golf. There was 2 18s, and we had the back 9 of one of the 18 holes locked off just for us. So for the 6 weeks we were there, no public could use that. It was just us. So I think what Jake's referring to is potentially asking to play the other courses, but we got knocked back. Maybe.
Could be Jake Waterman here.
It could be Jake Waterman here. Maybe. That's
a deep cut.
That's a really deep cut. That was from the That was from the Zoom meetings, which was pretty funny. That got infiltrated throughout the entire AFL. Everyone was asking on Zoom, hey, it's Jake Waterman here. That was fucking funny.
And what's your handicap at the moment?
Handicap's 8.8. So not really playing to it, but yeah, need to get back out there.
So if you've ever had a chance, if you've ever wanted to ask a question on the BackChat stream, today is the day.
Oh yeah, you'll get your question answered.
You'll get your question answered. No need to super chat if you do want to super chat.
Yeah, feel free to super chat. Yeah, please. We always love the extra little bit of money. Hey, Smith, I know you've got headphones on there, mate, but the pale ale in the fridge by Shelter, if you could go and grab me one of them, that would be sensational.
So Fozjam's back. Any chance of Charlie Spargo joining the Kangas hammer? Apparently we offered a 4-year deal to him last trade period. Any intel?
Ooh,
Charlie
young Charles.
Spargo.
He is a son of Paul Spargo, who was a mighty North Melbourne footballer. So there is blood ties there. I think he's pretty happy at Melbourne. Angus and him were very, very close and very good friends. The Spargos and the Brayshaws are family friends going back a long way. So we know them. I haven't spoken to Charlie in a while. Certainly not about his footballing endeavours and where he wants to play. He's a chance to go to the Roos, I guess. If money talks, they got a lot of money. He's a good young player. I think he gets very underrated across the AFL. Melbourne love him, but a lot of that focus goes to Cozzy Pickett and how good he is as a small forward. Charlie Spargo is an underrated, very, very good player. And if you go back in their premiership year, he did some things in that game that really, really set him up and really made sure that they were in the game. And his work ethic throughout the year is exceptional. So I don't know where he'll end up, but very good player.
So Jesse Davison, very good question here. Thoughts on the new Eagles coach?
Oh, yeah, Mini. Andrew McQualter. I haven't met him, and I don't really know him. Angus liked him. Thank you, Smith. Angus liked him. He's, from all reports, the boys have met him so far. Seems like a pretty good guy. He's pushing a lot of shit uphill. Just an awful amount of shit. A big, steaming bag of shit that he's just lugging uphill. But he's got a free swing at it. There is literally nothing that you can't get worse. Well, I mean, they didn't finish last. They can finish last year. They won't. You can't get worse. And he's got a couple of nuggets in that big pile of shit that he can really polish off and get to work with. You can latch onto Harley and say, do whatever you want to win us 5 games next year or 6 games. You can hope to the gods that Elliot Yeo stays uninjured and he can help you. Jake Waterman, I think they've given a stupid amount of money to, which is awesome because he's a star. You can say, kick us another 60 goals. So, yeah, there's a bit you can work with there, and they're going to get a good pick in the draft. So there's a lot you can work with.
Alrighty, so Stella asks Kitchen Base.
Okay.
Ask at Kitchen Base. What's in your golf bag? Club rundown, please.
Ooh, club rundown. This is an interesting one. I actually played golf yesterday with a guy from Josh from PGA Golf Australia, and we were talking about potential golf podcasts and whatever. And he said it's just a hard market to crack. And I said, mate, it's just crazy how many people love golf, and I don't want to sit here and talk about golf for the next half an hour. But what's in my golf bag? I have a 60-degree, 54, and a 50-degree wedge, Vokey Titleist wedges. I have TaylorMade P70s, and I have pitching wedge up through to 4-iron. I've got a Titleist driving 3-iron, which was my friend's. Ryan Ruffles is his name. He's now playing golf on the Corn Ferry Tour. So I have his driving Titleist from like maybe 9 years ago. I've also got his Nike Covert Hybrid from the same time, 10 years ago. I've got that Stealth 2 driver that I won off my dad for nearly dying and killing myself. And then I've got a Nike Method putter also from Ryan. So that's the breakdown of my bag. Thank you for asking, Stella.
This kind of goes off Grace Middleton's question, which is about Clayton Oliver and being on Reece Stanley's farm. If you are the Melbourne Football Club, are you inviting Clayton to the best and fairest?
Yes, of course you are. Not inviting to the BNF stuff is just petty and dumb. Like, St Kilda telling Josh Battle to not come. I think there was a bit in that because I reckon, from what I've heard, he told the boys that he was going to stay and then the next day he left. Ooh. Which is a punch in the face. But yeah, you just invite them. You've been a servant of the club. You've been there. You've paid your dues. You've worked hard. You've helped them do what they do. He's been exceptional this year. Yep, you invite them to. They might not want to come. If they say I'm not coming, well then that's fine. That's on them. They don't have to come. Adam Simpson didn't come to the West Coast BNF. Different. He got sacked. Mutual. But yeah, you don't. If you don't want to go, don't go. You should go. But yeah, they should have definitely invited him.
Stefan D. Hayes. Hey, Hammer, who do you reckon the best player in the Eagles waffle currently is?
Oh, who do I think the best player in the Eagles waffle is? We had a kid called Harley Sparks who was very, very good. Annoying little shit. I'm not sure he watches this, but he was an annoying little shit who was fucking hard to give feedback to because he knows. The thing about him, and he's a fucking little prick, and if he does hear this, good on him and listen. He's a fucking star. Like, he's so good, and he knows it, and he just, like, I think he's hopefully gotten better, but, like, he just didn't care. Didn't care any of the feedback you give him. He just fucking whatever. I'm just going to run around and get 30 and do whatever I want with it. And, like, he'd step people. He'd, like, do those things where he'd be sprinting, go to kick the ball, and just stop on a dime, and someone would sprint past him, and he'd just look at you on the way past, and then hit once. So he is really good. He won their BNF this year. Was a prick of a person to try and give feedback to as a leader, but I hope he's gotten better at that. But yes, he's undoubtedly their best player.
Are there many players like that in the system who have attitude like that and are hard to give feedback to?
Yeah, there's quite a few. There's a few that I've come across in my time. There's not many when you get to AFL level, because like the no dickhead policy comes into it a lot at AFL land, especially nowadays because there's just so much talent out there. You can still get a couple of dickheads right up the top end if you're that good. But yeah, at waffle level, it sneaks in a little bit. At Ammo's level, it's fucking everywhere because you can just be a gun and they don't care if you're a wanker or not. But yeah, I've come across a few in my time.
All right, that concludes the open floor section of the podcast. Let us
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you for your contributions. Let's do this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And now on the BackChat podcast, Hammer Ranks.
Well, here we go. We have got Hammer Ranks. Scoey's not here. Dan's not here. With Scoey being in mind, I miss him. Haven't spoken to him in a while. Spoke to Dan the other day. So haven't spoken to Scoey in a while and just thought, you know what? This is a good time to reminisce about him. He is as bald as it gets. He's losing all his hair and he has got a nice beard. That's cool. On top, he's chrome dome. So we thought, and I have compiled a list, the top 5 players this century, or that I can remember, chrome dome, completely bald. I'm not talking like Shannon Hearn. Shannon Hearn's he's not bald. He's got not a lot of hair, but he's got hair. He's shaved it. He's not skin bald. Like I'm talking, polish it off, get the razor out and clean it right up. These are my top 5 players. Number 5, Nathan Jones. Now, this is the first photo that I saw when I Googled Nathan Jones. He's apparently like a giant actor who's 6'10" or whatever and jacked through the fucking roof and actually looks a lot like him, funnily enough, also bald. But I'm talking about this Nathan Jones. Chunk Jones from the Melbourne Footy Club, captain, played 300-odd games, was just a weapon, and he was just loyal to the death. We talk about West Coast being bad, and we joke about it here, and Mick Walters pushing shit uphill. The Melbourne Football Club, for 200 of his 300 games, were just the laughingstock of the world. They were so bad. They were the worst club ever to exist. It was just abysmal. And he had offers from other clubs. He could have gone elsewhere. He had every right to go elsewhere. He was the captain and could have just said, this fucking sucks. But he didn't. He stuck fat. He played 300 games and was an absolute weapon. He's my number 5 in my last, 10 years. And I'm going to miss heaps here because I did this at work today, and I'm a little bit, I've had a few. But he was easily in my top 5. Number 4, Matt Nichols. One of a few umpires that I actually know the name of. I know Matt Stevick because he was a maths teacher at Melbourne Grammar. I know Ray Chamberlain because he's Razor. This is the other one that I know the name of purely because of his chrome dome. You can see this thing from the 100,000th seat at the MCG. It sparkles, it shines. We talk about polish. Like, look how unmanicured his beard is. You can see there's hair over his Adam's apple. It's almost creeping out from under his shirt. But the head, Shaved every morning, completely polished. That is a man who has done one. He would have umpired 300-odd games. Like, he'd be pretty close to. Don't know the numbers off the top of my head. But that was a man who's got a chrome dome. He's my number 4. Number 3, we're back to footballers. This guy, Jared McVeigh, was a fucking star. Smith, do you ever remember watching him? Yep, Smith's nodding his head and he doesn't even know football. Yes, he does. That's a lie. He is a gun. 315 games, I reckon I want to say. Close to. Definitely played 300. Shaved. Oh, nice beard. That looks manicured. Matty Nichols, have a look. Shaved on top, but premiership player. Would have been the captain at Sydney for a while, I think. Don't know how long. Gun. Genuine out-and-out star. Now, we joked about Matty Nichols before. And Jared McVeigh here. No joke. Genuine player. The next two are... I mean, as soon as the segment came up, this was undoubtedly going to be the next two. These two footballers, I spoke about Buddy Franklin earlier being the best, or, you know, in the top 3 footballers that I've ever seen. These next two will be right up there. Number 2. Didn't know you were going to put that in there. Scully is not in the top 2. Scully is the chairman of selectors for the Bald All-Star team, so... He's probably not watching because he's in Thailand. But unfortunately, mate, you are not in my top 5 bald players of all time. My number 2 player is, in fact, Chris Judd. If you had to put another Scully in there, that would have been pretty funny. Yeah, Chris Judd is my number 2. This guy was, and, I can't, there's not been a player like him. He bounces out of packs. He hit the scene like a fucking German band. He went out and kicked 5 on his second game, was just a fucking freak. I had an umpire, sorry, not an umpire, I had a guy that worked at the Sandy Dragons who was just a lifetime bloke who was there and was always helping out. He said he used to umpire APS football. Now, Juddy went to Caulfield Grammar, and as a year 10, so he would have been 15, this guy, Jim his name was the umpire. And the other guy who was umpiring with him before the game said, we may as well give the 3 votes to this young Chris Judd kid, shouldn't we? Jim said, we'll have to wait and see about that, mate, as a joke. Juddy was playing off halfback, kicked 6 in the first quarter as a year 10, 15 years old, first football off halfback flank, kicked 6, and then went on to fucking do whatever he did for the rest of the game. But yeah, one of the great players of all time, clearly number 2. And number 1, this one goes without saying, if Juddy was number 2, number 1... Did you just put that in there? Did you just quickly scurry to put that in there right then? Number 1, this one goes without saying. Number 1, greatest ball player almost of all time in the history of football. Nathan Ablett. That was meant to be his brother Gary. That is Nathan. Nathan played how many games he did for Geelong and Gold Coast. Very much rode the coattails of his older brother successfully and won a premiership, I think. But yeah, Gary Ablett Jr., not his brother Nathan. Gary Ablett Jr. is the best bald player I have ever seen. Would comfortably, in my opinion, be the best player of football I've ever watched. Watched him play a game up at Metricon Stadium in the pissing rain where he had 37 and kicked 3 or something stupid like that. Was a class above everyone else. Was easily the best player I've ever seen, and he just so happened to have a shiny chrome dome head. So that is easily my top 5, and Scully finds his way in there, I think, twice. So there, there he is. That's Hammer Ranks. Now, we thank you for that. I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you've got any other chrome domes that you loved, I have, when I was doing my research, that Continental Tires ad came up a few times. So if you've got any Paddy Riders or steel side bottoms, you can throw them in there. But I would like to, I don't have the little thing to put on here, but I'd just like to give a quick shout out to one of our sponsors if we can. So just if you can hit that for me, Damon.
Got the touch.
You got the power. Yeah. TABtouch. Our very, very, very good friends, our best friends, in fact, at TABtouch. This is going to be a nice little collab between, as you're looking on screen, 2 of our great friends. TABtouch, you've got the touch, and Paywise, powering the podcast, powering me. Thank you. While we're here, we may as well whack it on. So this is the collab that not everyone knew they needed. TABtouch and Paywise, our great, great friends at both of them. Now, my boss, everyone's best friend, Frank Agostino, has a horse. I don't know if he still has it or not. Its name is Torpedo Man, and it was running yesterday out at Geraldton. And TABtouch, the lovely people at TABtouch, our best friends there, I can talk about it. I actually don't know the rules. So if I get in trouble here, Scully and Dan, this is on you. I don't know the rules of what we can say with odds and gambling and betting and whatever. Obviously, bet responsibly. TABtouch were offering us the lovely, juicy, delicious odds of $18. And we thought, and Frank had said to me, what a bet. What a great idea to just go and invest your hard-earned Paywise dollars into that. Now, the horse ran over 1,100 metres, and race was yesterday. I don't think it's finished yet. I think the horse is still running, and I said to him today, after burning the money that I've made hard working at Paywise, that you would be better off. I lived in St Kilda growing up. Or no, I lived in Sandringham, and there was, at St Kilda on the foreshore, they used to have, for $5, as a young kid, I'm talking like 3, 4, you could go down there, family could have a picnic in the park or whatever, and for $5, you could do a lap or 2 laps of the little park down there on a pony or an old horse, something that went really, really slow and was perfectly fit for a child. Now, I said to Frank, that horse, when you find it, because I'm not sure where it is, because it certainly didn't finish the race, when you find that, send it there. Let it run laps or walk laps around there with a child on there, because it's steady as anything and it doesn't get out of a fucking walk. So TABtouch, we took you for a lot at Brownlow night. We took you for a lot all throughout the year. You've got a little bit back for us for Torpedo Man. And on the back of that, let's hear from our good friends at Paywise.
Hi, I'm Will, and I'm a backman.
And I'm Gov, and I'm a Paywise brand ambassador.
And you're a backman.
Yes, I am, but I'm also a Paywise brand ambassador. And I know that the best way to get into your next car is through the Paywise novated lease.
To learn more about novated leasing, contact Paywise today or just ask Jeremy McGovern.
That is not Jeremy McGovern. Now, we've had a couple of so there's a few things that we had in the run sheet. We've gone a bit off track, which is fair enough. It was always going to happen. It's just me. We had a quiz, and we were talking about it at the start about what to do. We've got a quiz here that I have not been made aware of. There is a rip cord, a pull cord in case of emergency, which is going to go to a quiz on a topic I know a bit more about, which is Lord of the Rings. I've spoken about it on here a couple of times. We're going to try and not pull that rip cord. How many questions are there in this quiz, Jaiden?
Oh, we got 8 plus a couple bonuses.
Okay, 8 plus a couple of bonuses. If we're 0 from 4, we're going to pull the ripcord, and you're going to give me 4 more of the other questions to try and get to halfway. So, without further ado, let's hit this little quiz that you've got going.
What AFL player holds the record for the most games played?
Brent Harvey.
How many games is the bonus?
433, isn't it? It's close enough.
Close. 432. That's one for me
That'll do.
there. Name the 3 AFL clubs with the most premierships in VFL AFL history.
Carlton have got 16. Essendon have got 16, do they? Or Richmond.
Or Collingwood.
Fuck. Damn.
Which AFL team has the longest premiership drought?
That would be St Kilda.
Correct.
Thank you.
No questions why. Who won the Sandover medal in 2023?
That was me. Thank you. That's a soda. That's a run off the pads. Thank you very much.
Whipped it away for 6.
I did.
Who's North Melbourne's all-time leading goal kicker?
Ooh, North Melbourne's all-time leading goal kicker. Obviously, it could be Wayne Carey, but it also could be Drew Petrie, because Drew Petrie played a lot of games. But I think Wayne Carey would have kicked more goals back in his day. I'm going to say Drew Petrie.
Oh, Wayne Carey.
Fuck! He played 330 games. I just
Yeah.
backed him in the dish.
The bonus was how many goals did he kick?
That's a tough bonus
That's a tough
question.
one.
Remember Nick's quiz when it was just like, who came fourth in the Coleman medal in 2006? What? Anyway, continue.
I feel like we've gotten a bit better since then.
That's much better.
Remember when Nick got fired straight after that?
Yeah.
No.
He found a better job.
He didn't.
He found a better job. He's working for the great people at Curtin University,
He
of
is.
which I tried to start a degree and quit.
Oh, I miss Nick. What decade did North Melbourne change their nickname from the Shin Boners to the Kangaroos?
thought it was still the shin boners. 2000s?
1950s.
Fucking hell, yeah, I still call them the shin
How
boners.
many am I on? I haven't been counting.
Are
we even?
I
We
got
might be
me. I got St Kilda, and I got the first question. But I
Alright,
didn't get
I'm
the
going to
bonus.
say we're even.
We're even.
Who is the shin boner of the century?
Glenn Archer.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Who is Luke McDonald's dad?
Donald McDonald, and his dad is 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 Donald McDonald, and his dad I don't know. Luke was the 6th Donald in line, and Donald's wife Terry said, "There's no fucking way we are going to name another kid. There's no way in hell I'm having my kid named Donald McDonald." There you go. Anyway, there you go.
That's good. You know your history.
I know my history.
Well, I threw in a tiebreaker, even though it was
it's
just you
it's
versus you.
5-3, but let's say.
What is Luke McDonald's middle name?
Is it Donald?
Yeah, it is Donald.
There you go. Luke Donald
That's
McDonald.
the quiz.
Well done. What a great quiz. Can you just throw me one of the Lord of the Rings questions, see if I get it? Give me question 22 in the Lord of the Rings quiz. There was 50 questions in this thing.
22.
Give me question number 22 in the Lord of the Rings
Are you
quiz.
what type of bread does Sam and Frodo eat on their journey?
Llamas bread.
Yeah,
Latmus bread.
Lembas bread.
Lembas bread, yeah.
Yeah. Do you want another one?
Yeah, give me another one. Give me...
Pick a number.
36.
What is the name of the inn where Frodo and the hobbits first meet Aragorn?
Ooh, at the Prancing Pony.
Correct.
Thank you.
We keep going on this.
Yeah, give me going. Just hit me with a few.
Pick a number.
18.
Ooh. What is the name of the story Bilbo wrote about his adventures?
There and Back Again, The Hobbit's Tale by Bilbo Baggins.
Okay. All right.
Give
Pick
me
another
28.
number. Go on. 28. What do Merry and Pippin steal from Gandalf in the Shire?
Fireworks.
Yep. Okay. That was an easy one.
One more, yeah, that was an easy one. Pick any number. Smith, pick a number between 1 and 50 that I haven't already done. 49. Okay, I like it.
In what year was the animated Lord of the Rings movie starring John Hurt released?
Oh, that's a fucking tough one. Yeah, well done, Smith. You got me on a doozy. I will say 2015.
Oh, I think 1900s, mate.
Oh, shit, really? 1994.
78.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, there you go.
Actually, what colour is the Gate of Mordor?
Black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an
That was
easy
an easy one.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be harder.
Nah, that was an easy one. That was good.
That was good. 50
was-
of those.
That was good. There you go. I was happy with that. We've got a little bit of time left. I asked a couple of questions. I asked to the people listening beforehand, I'm on here, I don't have a lot to do, I'm by myself. Can you send me in a few questions? Some finds, some questions, whatever you want.
You know what? Actually, sorry, Hammer.
Yep.
The greatest guy got that. 1978.
The greatest guy, greatest guy's also on his computer, so
Yeah.
come on, mate.
Do we believe it?
Fucking anyone can Google that. Johnny Hurts.
There's a lot of calls for all 50 Lord of the Rings questions.
Fuck. We'll do it on another pod. We'll do it on another pod.
It's good to know we've got content.
Good to know we've got content. We've got people who want to hear. I like it. All right, let's go. So I put the call out and said, any finds, any questions, send them through. If we've got any, do we have any audio questions or are they all just text?
We do have 2 finds.
All right, let's hit me with a couple of finds.
We have.
If they're hidden there somewhere. Well, I like that. Keep playing that. Sorry, Scully usually gives these guys the run sheet so they're ready to go.
G'day, Hammer.
Yep.
It's Ben Diver here
Hello,
from
Ben.
Queensland, the heartland of Australian rules football.
Okay.
Just calling in with a 2-bucker for one Marcus Ashcroft.
Yep.
What the fuck? How the fuck does he, from his own balls, produce 2 number 1 draft picks within 2 years of each other?
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck?
Yep.
Right, that's $1 each for each of these 2 absolute fucking weapons that they're going to be, apparently. I'm not complaining, but, save some for the rest of us. Fuck me.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ben.
Too easy. I'm going to enjoy the next, 5 premierships.
Just a little bit more.
Probably beat North a couple of times. All right, see ya.
Thank you, Ben. Now, that's a great question. Now, I have heard a little bit of commentary goes out about Dacos or Peter Dacos and Marcus Ashcroft, their balls and their sperm, whatever. You need to give a bit of kudos and a little bit of emphasis on Mrs. Dacos and Mrs. Ashcroft and their titty milk and what is coming out of those, because you grow a kid, yes, you birth someone with a bit of sperm, but you grow those things for the sole purpose of feeding a child. They have tit milk in them from a young age. So you asked the question about Marcus Ashcroft's balls. I am questioning what Mrs. Ashcroft is producing because that is the good stuff.
We do have a quick question for you, Hammer. Tell us about the carnivore diet. What did you eat for breakfast, etc., etc., etc.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Run through of that.
Yeah, lost 7 kilos in 2.5 weeks doing that. I didn't eat breakfast. I would have a black coffee. I would then have beef mince with a little bit of salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and 3 poached or boiled eggs for lunch. I would have chicken, pork, or steak with some more eggs for dinner, and that was it. I'd do that again. And, like, you've got no limit to how... Well, I had no limit. I wasn't counting calories. It was just like I would eat until I'm full, and I would stop. And it was just the best thing ever. Just dropped weight like that. It was awesome.
Emotional?
Oh, I was... Yeah, the first 3 days sucked. Really hurting. I was, like, hungry. Was getting tummy pains. Was grumpy. But after 4 days, I kicked it. I was like, yep, sweet. I'm feeling fine now. I was training the whole time. Was feeling good. So, yeah, worked for me.
Dixie here, Hammer. Dixie wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't actually got a fine for you today.
Fair enough.
But I've got a credit.
Okay.
A little while ago, me and a couple mates just delivered the most beautiful and perfect. Fuck you, Joel.
Yep.
Tell you what, geez, it was beautiful.
Thanks.
About 1:30 on a Saturday night, and we'd had a decent crack on the shelters.
I like it.
And I thought, I think it might be time to ring my old mate Joel.
Good.
So, I tell you what, 3 blokes screaming in unison, full of shelters in the back of a car. Fuck you, Joel.
Yes.
I'm not sure it gets any better than that.
It doesn't, and I'm very
Just
grateful.
beautiful stuff.
Can
I
you
think
give
even
yourself a
Joel would
credit?
have been proud of it
You can.
had he answered my phone call,
He wouldn't have.
dog. But, cheers, boys, then. Fuck you, Joel.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Fuck you, Joel. Tough to give yourself a credit, but I respect it. Now, Dixie, if I see you out in the flesh at any point, I'll buy you a beer because that is the stuff that I want. For anyone who does have Joel's phone number, I'm not going to give it out here because it's his. I'll send it to the patrons. They all know it. But it's 0400. You can guess the rest. That's the first 4. 0400. You can guess the rest. If you want to guess the next 6 digits, you can. These first 4 start with 0400. Go for your life. Very well done. That's exactly what we need from the community who want to say fuck you to Joel.
Just a quick one, Hammer.
Course,
hey,
mate.
Hammer, Jake Waterman here.
Mm-hmm.
Just wondering if those shirts are available for everyone else.
Oh. They would be. I don't know if the I don't know if those little tie set up pop up clothes stores do international shipping. It'd be tough if anyone is in Thailand though and can get these. Send a few over. Send a few to us. We can send them out and distribute them. But it's a full kit. It's nice. It's nice Thai elephants. It's a pattern that I can appreciate, and it's also very
Looks
light, breathable fabric. I was sweating like a fucking pig over there. You would not believe. There was times where I'd be sitting down at dinner and I would have to, many a night my shirt were off, just dripping, but I was like teeming in sweat. The water it was genuine droplets that were repeatedly, routinely finding streams and coming. It was disgusting. But yeah, these are real nice. Get a few.
Right. Quick one. Fozjam, my brother and I are thinking of naming our racehorse Hammer Chud. Is that okay?
Hammer Chud, yep, happy with that. And if you do, I will put, I'll get some TABtouch bonus bets, so I don't have to put any of my own money on
Beautiful.
it. But I'll be putting 20 on it.
And another one, Call Joel.
Call Joel right now.
Call
Okay,
Joel
yeah,
right
I'll do
now.
it. Yep. Okay.
A few good comments in here.
Yep.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay.
That's good.
That's really good stuff. Let me.
There's one here. It's true about the breastfeeding stuff. I heard Nick Dacos is still on it.
Wow, there you go. Here we go. Can you hear this? Can we hear that?
Yep.
Oh, you better pick up this little fucker. He's not going to. What's he doing? What a bastard.
You've called Joel Constable.
Oh.
Sorry, I can't get to the phone right now. Leave your name and number and I'll get back to you. Thanks, bye.
Oh, fuck you, mate. Seriously. Called you on the podcast. Everyone's listening, and you just fucking ignore me. Fuck you, Joel. There you go.
We did have a good message before saying call someone famous just generally on your phone.
Oh.
The most famous person on your phone.
That would be Andrew for me. Like Andrew's, I don't have any famous people actually. He's in Bali right now. He's in Bali. Yeah, I've got Andrew on my phone. That's pretty much. I've got Jack Buckley. He's pretty famous.
Do we want to go through some You Send It, We Hardly Reads It?
Do we have any of them? Do I have any of them?
We got a few. Do you want me to read them out?
Do I have any?
Yeah, they should be on your... Yeah, I'll read it out for you.
Where are we?
We got an email. It's all right, Hammer. It's all good.
Yeah,
mate.
yeah, right. You do
We're
it.
here. We've got
You
you.
do it, you do it.
Lads, is the draft broken? How can West Coast rebuild when our second pick is constantly pushed back to the 30s? With all the priority picks, matched bids and compensation picks last year, we should have had pick 19, but it turned out to be pick 30. This year, we should have pick 21, but that also looks as though we'll end up at 30 with 2 North priority picks, Battle and Perryman compo, plus a number of academy and father sons that will go top 30. Do West Coast need a small assistance package, even just to keep their picks in line with our ladder position? How do we get access to the top talent without selling off everyone of value on our list? The whole system needs a rework. Cheers, Todd, a.k.a. West Coast Nuff.
Yeah, Todd. Now, mate, I have a couple of ideas. I have a couple of things about this. One, I think the father-son rule, you just have to cop it. Like, yes, it's happened in the last little bit that Josh and Nick Dacos have both gone to Collingwood. Marcus and Will and Levi are both going to end up at Brisbane. You get some really good players out of that. That's unlucky. You just got to deal with that. Academies in Gold Coast, they need to be really looked at. Academies in Sydney and those sort of states need to be looked at. The compensation picks need to be heavily addressed. As I mentioned before, Buddy Franklin was pick 18. You can't be giving Ben Mackay pick 3 and Josh Battle pick 8 because it's not the same. But the father-son, in my opinion, is sacrosanct and you have to leave it alone. It's just the way the game is. It's one of the few things that have been there for a long time that I think we should keep. And yeah, stiff shit that like... Marcus had 2 hot kids that are really good at footy. Just got to deal with it, mate. It's unfortunate. As for how West Coast can get back in the draft, I think it's got to be, leave these, either one, get rid of those academy picks for the other states, or 2, let everyone else use them. Like, Neil Erasmus was a West Coast academy pick, but he was picked 14 or whatever he was, and so he couldn't go there anymore. Give more access to the clubs, and West Coast do a lot with their academy, so give more access to those. But yeah, I would be looking at scrapping or heavily mitigating the impact that the Gold Coast and the Northern States academies can have, and just you got to cop the father-son stuff on the chin.
Great. We'll go through a quick fire of these Instagram questions. We got one in from Joel Constable.
Good.
Hi, Hammer. Nervous about asking a girl out. Any tips or tricks?
Yep. Well, you've been in a relationship for about 6 years. I think you've just bought a house with your current girlfriend Meg. So if she's listening, block your ears for a second, Greg. Any tips or tricks? Now, I saw a really good one actually today on Instagram. So for anyone who is trying this one out, feel free to go for your life. Go up to a girl or a guy or whoever you're asking out and say, get into a little conversation and just say, oh, have you got a party trick? Because I've got a really good one. They'll say, oh, what's your party trick? And you go, I'm really good at guessing birthdays. And they'll say, oh, okay. Okay, well, I'll tell you what your birthday is, October 10. And if for whatever reason you get it right, that's 1 in 364, you get it right, it's like, fuck, you're away. Bang. The other times, if you get it wrong, it's like, shit, fuck, whatever. I thought you were a 10 out of 10 anyway. Bang, you're in. October 10, 10 out of 10. Saw that today. That'd be my go-to. If I was single, which I'm not, and neither are you, Joel, so that's a good one.
Damo, one for you.
Oh, Damo's got to get back on the mic.
Another one from Joel Constable. Hi, Hammer. Would be good to get your stance on Star Wars vs. Lord of the Rings, original series only.
Yep.
So no Hobbit.
Yep, no Hobbit. And I
prequels.
imagine by original series, he means no prequels or... Yep. So I'm a Lord of the Rings man. Every day of the week. Lord of the Rings, original series, extended editions, not extended editions, doesn't matter what, trumps everything for me. It's my favourite series of all time. It's better than Star Wars. It's better than Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I watch Harry Potter once a year, every year. And I have done for a long, long time. I just finished watching it again. And so I finished watching it like 3 weeks ago, me and Em. I'd watched it last in like July last year. And then, I watched it in July last year. I watched it again in January. And I've watched it again just then. So I'd watched it 3 times in the space of a year and a half. But Lord of the Rings for me will always be my favourite. No question. Thanks, Joel.
Joel Constable. Hi, Hammer. Judd v. Cousins. You can only have one in your midfield, both in their prime.
Fucking hell.
We'll run through these quickly.
Judd.
Joel Constable. Hi, Hammer. Is it worth me learning how to kick on my non-preferred leg, or is this old-fashioned?
Got to, mate. Have to. If anyone's an aspiring young footballer, which I know Joel is, kicking on your opposite foot is essential. It's not. You don't have to be as proficient on your right, but you have to be able to get out of trouble. So, yes, definitely.
Great. This one in from Joel Constable. Hi, Hammer. Would like to hear a Sandover medalist mentality heading into the off-season.
Yep. Drink as much piss as you can and enjoy yourself for about 3 or 4 weeks and then dial it back. So, I'm not about the AFL mindset of just be steady all the time. I love to have a good blowout and then dial it back in.
All right, this one in from Declan Caro. When was the last time you helicoptered?
When was the last time I helicoptered? In Thailand, actually. In the toilet, I was... so, as I've mentioned on here before, one of my favourite things to do in a public men's urinal is to pull my pants all the way down. Sorry, I just burped in the mic. Did that and just went... whoosh, not very big, by the way. More like that. Anyway, I did that. It was funny. So 4 days ago. Was your answer, Declan?
Brilliant. Aiden Kovac, hammer important one. Would you have Cox's fingers or a finger for a cock?
Ooh. Now, I actually have relatively large fingers. And, that is not necessary. Not to be arrogant, I'm bigger than that. But to have Cox's fingers would be shit. Imagine walking around with Dix's fingers.
Would you be flaccid all the time?
It'd
or would you
be
be hard?
fucking rubbish. I think you could get away more so with having a finger-sized dick than having dick-sized finger or having dicks for fingers. So I'm going to go a finger dick.
Great. Taz Kai, will the Royals bounce back next year?
Yes, they will. It's going to be hard. Mitch Croden is going, unfortunately, back to South Australia. But we will be okay. We'll be back and better than ever.
And last one, Jordan Flynn, what was actually going through your mind during your set shot for your first AFL goal?
Oh, that stings. That's a shit way to finish because I missed that.
Oh, okay.
Shit. I kicked that goal about 4 times in the warm-up, took the mark, and instantly thought, fuck, I'm going to miss this. Just walked in, kicked it, and I knew the whole time it was out right, and it was just never looking like it. So I panicked as soon as I took the mark.
Okay, we'll finish on a different one. This one from Joel Constable.
Yes,
Hi,
thanks.
Hammer. Would like to hear your pick for Brownlow, Premier, and Coleman next season.
Ooh, an early prediction. Brownlow, Premier, Coleman next year. Brownlow medal, Andrew Brayshaw. I think he's going to have another. He's going to be fit and healthy, and he'll win the Brownlow. Premier next year, the Fremantle Dockers. Coleman next year. I'm not going to go the three-peat because I don't think Josh Tracy will do it. I reckon Jesse Hogan goes back-to-back. There you go. So Andrew Brayshaw, Fremantle Dockers, Jesse Hogan. Done.
Brilliant. There you go, mate. Well done.
Well, I think
Good job.
that's 5:30 there. I didn't think I'd get through 40 minutes, and yet I've got through an hour. Let me find our sponsors as I go down here. So, firstly, thank you to everyone for listening. That's the first time I've done a solo one. First time I think we've done a solo one here in a while. It was good fun. Damo, Jaiden, and Smith, thank you very much for throwing questions at me. The Lord of the Rings ones were fun. I think we should do that.
Yeah, I agree.
That was good. I reckon I'll get through most of them. Obviously, shout out to our sponsors, Paywise, TABtouch, Shelter Brewing Co., Whippersnapper Whisky, ID Athletic. They do anything, by the way. If you've got anything, like I need to go and get another beer on the way out, ID Athletic, I'm sure, do them.
They could make everyone that uniform.
Yeah, ID Athletic, if you want to make this, I'll send it to you. Mamba Digital, you want to get a website done, do that. West End Plumbing, if you shit, they fix it. And Camera Electronic, obviously, you wouldn't be able to see this without Camera Electronic. So thank you very much. I've got a best and fairest to get to. I've got to do a wee. I'll probably do a poo before I leave as well. Just West End Plumbing. Thank you very much. But yeah, that's been fun. Thank you very much. We'll see you next week.